But how do you get paid? In America, there is nothing more important, it seems, than money. Society wants us to believe that the American dream is the career, that it's what you do for a living that matters, and most importantly, how much money do you make? If you make the money, you can afford the lovely house with the white picket fence. And I spent a lot of years in hustle culture, believing that if I worked absolutely nonstop, I could have the career of my dreams. And to be frank, I did get the career of my dreams through 24/7 blood, sweat, and tears. I put everything into my company as an editor, marketer, publishing mentor. I built it in 2013 and grew it into a successful business that bought me a house at age 26. It really was everything I ever wanted and so much more. Even though I was living my dream of working with authors, I still hadn't discovered my life scripture yet. In other words, I may have been making the money, but I wasn't fulfilled. It was never enough. I had to get the next big speaking gig, write the next best-selling book, and on and on. But all of that changed when I realized my heart's purpose. By 2023, I couldn't wait any longer. I knew God had called me to start Crime and Compassion, even though I had no clue what all that would entail. So I announced that 2023 would be my last year in the publishing industry as Shayla Raquel. I finalized the rest of my author clients that year and started 2024 with high hopes of getting Crime and Compassion started. But it was hard. I was giving up a lot of financial security, and it took my husband like 2 separate times at the dinner table to convince me to take the leap of faith. This is what you were meant to do, he told me. This right here. You're doing the right thing. Don't worry about anyone else. You see, not everyone in my life understood why I'd sell all my company assets and shut down a 14-year career to volunteer in a women's prison. But how do you get paid was the number one question I get and still do. That's the first thing that comes to someone's mind. Money. Not what are the women learning in the novel class right now, or do you need any volunteers or support? Sometimes the initial focus is on money, not changed lives. Look, I'm raising my hand here because I focus too much on that as well. Now I quantify things very differently. I chose a career as a writer at a young age, which isn't exactly known for producing a river of wealth, but God blessed that career and it put plenty of food on my table. I've once again walked into a work life that isn't known either for producing a comfy, cozy bank account. When I answer that question, but how do you get paid? I go for brutal honesty. I'm funding it myself at the moment, but we can officially accept donations and can start applying for grants. Eventually, I'll get a salary, but that's a long ways away. But growing Crime and Compassion and working with these women has completely changed my life, and I'd give up everything all over again to do this. I have zero regrets. Zero. I don't need to have 7 digits in the bank to feel like a millionaire. Showing incarcerated people that they can write a great novel and hold it in their hands is seriously my American dream. No white picket fence needed.